penguins tumbling and being adorably clumsy,
He just falls.
whales appearing out of nowhere, and seals that go from peaceful naps to chasing your zodiac in seconds. Come to Antarctica with us in Dodo Itineraries, where journeys are built around seeing wildlife in their natural habitat. Traveling to Antarctica was the dream I never knew I had, but when I realized you could actually spend time with penguins in a place that still feels completely untouched, it suddenly felt like something I had to experience. And for those of us who are completely animal obsessed and unwilling to see wildlife in captivity, the chance to witness whales and penguins out here in the wild felt so irresistible, but also like a decision we couldn't take lightly. Because when I told my family and friends I was going to the 7th continent, their reactions were split. This is incredible, but is it something we should be doing at all? And HX Expeditions told us their model was different and that this kind of travel could actually support scientific research, and that got us so excited. And so here we are, 3 very lucky Dodo producers on the journey of a lifetime. But first, we had to get there. Getting to Antarctica from the US usually means flying to Buenos Aires and then down to Ushuaia, the southernmost city in the world.
I feel like I'm already seasick and I haven't even gotten on the ship yet.
And from there, you begin a 2-day crossing of the Drake Passage.
You know the Drake Passage, it's a famous stretch of water.
We are leaving Ushuaia behind, so we're officially leaving the human world and starting our journey to the bottom of the planet where the wildlife just takes over.
So it's safe to say, getting to the Antarctic Peninsula is something you earn.
We basically want to see what the wind's like over the Drake Passage for the next 2 days. Let's see in the middle of the night. Oh no!
Good evening, dear guests. We will be entering the Drake Passage in the early morning hours.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
We're expecting some movement during the night and tomorrow, with waves of around 4 meters or approximately 13 feet.
We are entering the Drake Passage tonight and it is starting.
We will, of course, do our utmost to provide you with the smoothest ride possible. We kindly ask you to take extra care when moving around the vessel.
I feel like you feel it a lot here.
Please use handrails whenever possible. Be mindful of your footing.
Everyone trying to walk straight.
Oh my god! That is crazy. Crossing the Drake's Passage is no joke. Apparently, we're also going through a pretty chill version of it right now, so I can't imagine when things get a lot more rough.
How are you feeling?
You know, we're hanging in there. I've pretty much been in my room sitting by my toilet, just in case.
I've never been this motion sick in my entire life.
His eyes were like blocked. Yeah,
That's rough.
and he's wearing.
Monica, what are we gonna do now?
We're dropping Eli off some food. Cool. It's so shaky.
Thank you.
Sorry, Eli.
Delivery of rice and toast and veggies.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
How are
it.
you doing?
Horrible.
Oh no,
Yes.
Eli.
Anyway, after 2 long days, we finally made it out of our rooms and we're excited to attend our first landing briefing.
Welcome to our first plans for tomorrow. Is everyone excited for the first day in Antarctica? The first landing in Antarctica will be a continental landing.
Tonight is the last night on the Drake's Passage, and tomorrow we're gonna be waking up in Antarctica. I'm honestly really just excited to take it all in, all the elements being put to work and us just being observers. So I'm really eager to see what that feels like for the first time.
Good morning, dear guests. We have now arrived in Antarctica. So for those of you that are awake right now, we strongly recommend going to the outside decks and enjoy the beautiful views surrounding the ship.
Are you ready? I am. Let me go get a jacket because I'm sure it's gonna be pretty cold.
Oh my god. Oh, cotton candy skies.
I mean, look at that pink.
I know. Oh my god. Can you imagine we just saw like a whale pop up? That is insane.
What do you think, Eli?
Well, it's well worth the last 2 days, that's for sure.
I know, it literally looks like a green screen background. Like I feel like I could just touch it and it'll just like be fake and paper, and it's so real. It is so real.
So here we are, 4 days after leaving our homes in LA and New York, traveling to Buenos Aires, then Ushuaia, then surviving 2 days of the Drake Passage.
It's freezing.
And it was 100% worth it. You watch the landscape morph into something otherworldly in real time. The sounds are different, the colors are different, and then of course, the reason we came. The wildlife, which starts appearing everywhere.
Oh, Dodo Wobble. Oh, this is so cute.
And all of a sudden, you feel the magic. And this was it. Everything had led up to today, our first day in Antarctica. We attended all the briefings, learned all the protocols, and felt more than ready to meet our very first penguins.
Monica, we're about to land on the 7th continent.
This is your last continent, right?
It is.
Oh my god. Well, I'm so excited.
If your phone is at your pocket, please.
Okay.
Our first landing was at Prospect Point, and we were there to see Adelie penguins, which is one of the 3 penguin species you can spot on the Antarctic Peninsula this time of year.
So, how does it feel to be stepping on the 7th continent?
It literally feels unreal. It almost feels like an entirely different planet. We're about to go see the only penguins that are here. So, but I'm so excited.
Penguins evolved about 40 million years ago.
Oh my gosh.
For all except the last 200 years, they have lived without any human beings being around. So when 200 years ago humans started appearing and they didn't cause them any harm, there was no reason for them to be scared of humans. They remain unscared of us to this day.
Who would have thought that a few hours ago you guys were just throwing up? And now you're here.
Great.
We're doing great, Indiana. I really needed that reminder. Listen, for penguins, I will conquer anything.
That wobble.
The wobble.
It's very important that we don't disturb the wildlife that we come here to see, and we follow regulations established a long time ago by IARTO. And so we always make sure we're more than 5 meters away when we visit their colonies.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Oh, yes.
One Adelie penguin in particular caught our attention because he took 10 minutes to gingerly make his way down the hill, and we just stood there watching.
This is the best day ever.
And by the end of it, we had decided to name him Alfred.
I didn't realize they were using their little feet when they were sliding.
Oh yeah.
Little back legs.
It's not just the belly. That's crazy. I love seeing the little path where they slid on.
I know.
Sometimes they're quite curious. They will walk up to you and they'll look up at you.
We're literally just guests. We're just like a viewer into their life, and I'm appreciating learning so much about it. We learned that we can't put our bags down here because we don't want to contaminate their home. We shouldn't sit. All of our gear is disinfected when we get on and off of the boat. It's all, at the end of the day, to protect the animals, to protect their home, and to conserve as much as we can of this environment.
But then, as we were about to leave, something crazy and completely unexpected happened. And then, almost right at that moment, we saw our first whale.
In one direction, we have icebergs collapsing, and you really start to see the impact of essentially what's happening here. And then on the other side, we have whales at a distance, and it's really magical, and it really kind of captures your heart.
I don't think I've ever had FOMO looking left or right
I know.
before. Like, usually once I'm in the place, it's pretty good.
2 completely different experiences, completely different emotions, and it's just so crazy to see it in person. There was so much that we got to see. It was all in all such an incredible experience, and it was just a pretty magical way to kick off our first day in Antarctica. It's day 2 in Antarctica, and we are on a Zodiac with the wildlife scientists right now. We are pretty much en route to scope out any whales that are in the area.
Wait, you guys are with the Dodo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that website.
Thank you.
I'm following it for you.
That was perfect timing.
If you think you see a blow, say, blow, and point your arm in the direction of where you think you see the blow.
I am an acoustic ecologist.
Do you want me to stay here, Katrine?
What that means is I study animal behavior, I study their population distribution, all from the sounds that they make. I'm here as part of a large-scale initiative called Sounds Good. The biggest expense in coming to Antarctica is the cost to get down here. But with HX, they take us exactly where we need to be at exactly the right moment in time.
This is about as exciting as it gets. It's real excitement comes when we get to go listen to the data afterwards.
And that's because of the people that are choosing to come on this trip as well to experience Antarctica. So in a way, every guest is helping to fund the research that we're doing.
Can you kind of explain like what you just did and then what you'll do with that research?
We just made an underwater sound recording that allows us to listen to all the different sounds that are underneath the ocean. So the sounds of the ice cracking, the sounds of maybe seals if they're vocalizing. So all of this is going to be going to the whole team so that we can all analyze it for our different projects.
Look at you, you're like just a giddy kid. It's amazing.
I'm such a nerd.
It's so good. You're such a science nerd in the best way possible.
Your job is what you're super passionate
It's what a lot.
Have you ever actually had one like?
So,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh really?
Yeah. The last time we were here.
Oh.
You would not let go of me.
Oh.
Kept following me.
So if you know anything about leopard seals, it's that they look like giant puppies. And when you see one just napping on a piece of ice, you just want to sit there and marvel at how cute they are. And you almost forget just how powerful they can be.
Oh my goodness.
He could do no wrong.
Truth is, they're at the top of the food chain here.
What does he do with the penguins?
Even whales don't want to mess with these misleading, adorable, chunky, furry monsters. So that peaceful little nap is pretty much the only interaction you want to have, because what you definitely don't want is for one to start chasing you.
So we came to this iceberg and there was one leopard seal on the ice. It's kind of their home spot where they go to sleep or something. And then we kind of cruised around the iceberg to get a nicer view of the leopard on the ice. And then one of you noticed the one in the water that I didn't see initially. Oh, here.
We're currently being chased by what we think is a leopard seal, but we don't necessarily want that.
They seem to be quite curious because it happened to me multiple times before that they just kind of follow the zodiac. They like to stream from the prop. Sometimes I get too curious and they will bite into the platoon.
You can all swim, right?
Yep. But away from a leopard seal, I don't know. It was just following us, and then as soon as we got far enough away, it kind of wandered off and did something else.
Can't find leopard seals. This one is completely unfazed, just taking a good nap.
This is what makes seeing animals in their natural habitat so special. We went out on a zodiac cruise hoping to see whales, and instead got chased by a seal and stumbled upon a penguin colony on the way back. It's a reminder that we're not in control here. Nature decides when and how it shows up, and you just have to be ready. And if you're lucky, something truly special might happen, just like it did that night as the sun was setting.
Let me show you what I'm doing right now. This is the sunset I'm watching. And this is the show that the whales are giving me.
I heard whale and I had to immediately run up here.
HX, we were the first cruise company to build hybrid ships. So this hybrid technology, together with our ban of heavy fuel oil and single-use plastic, we're not only following all regulations to be compliant, but we're really trying to push the industry.
I feel like with a trip like this, no matter how much you prepare in advance, there's so much to keep in mind. You have to be bundled up. You have to meet certain places for excursions.
Bye! See you soon!
You also want to be looking everywhere so you don't want to miss something on one side. It's a lot.
You also want to not be looking through the camera every time.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wildlife, nature, the weather, none of it is predictable. And that's why the expedition team has to be so incredibly prepared.
Oh my gosh. There's so many. There's so many.
That's the thing, you don't even know where to look.
And also why every interaction is carefully managed so that the wildlife is always respected.
Hello.
So what we do is that we will go out before any of you come outside. We go out half an hour to an hour before you come outside.
Can we aim for those?
We have a lot of spare.
And we'll set up the landing. So we'll make a path for you or an area where you can free roam. We check that everything is safe, and then we will station the team around specific points of interest like the penguin colony. And when you then come outside in your boat, we'll tell you about the place, where you can go, how far to penguins.
When you walk, please follow the coast today.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's back and forth the same way.
And then you can go on and take your photos.
We're gonna have to take a little detour because one of the penguins is within the safety area that we're allowed to walk on, and of course we don't want to disturb him.
What made this landing especially interesting was discovering just how different each penguin species is. And Gen 2 penguins in particular are so funny.
Did he just fall? Tumble.
Sometimes we observe something that we call Gen 2 brain. They seem very confident in coming out of the water and going places, and then suddenly they stop and they just look around and not bothered, and then they kind of preen themselves, and you just made a path for them to cross and everybody's waiting to go somewhere else. And then maybe 2 minutes later they're like, oh yeah, I was gonna go somewhere, and then they maybe continue on, or they turn around and go a different way, or they go to the left or something like that. That is always very funny to observe.
They're little waddles.
I asked this to Eli yesterday, but have you seen the movie Weapons?
Yeah.
The kids, how they walk, how they run.
Oh my gosh, my wholesome image is gone.
It's a late breeding season now. There are still parents with young up here, and they will be coming and going and feeding their young. But the birds around here, they're all molting.
These ones are so fluffy.
Every year they have to replace their feathers. You can see it looks like a pillow fight here where all their old feathers are on the ground. And while they're molting, they just stand around for about 3 weeks, unable to feed or go to sea while their feathers are growing.
So they're just living in the reserves and their colonies and pretty much getting a lot of sleep.
And the best part is when you stop looking at the colony as a whole and you start observing the specific interactions. There was this baby who was very clumsily chasing his mom, practically begging her to feed him. And on the next landing, we also got to see something we had been looking forward to for a long time.
Oh my god! Oh my god, the tumble!
Who knew penguins tumbling could make me so happy? This was something that we were so looking forward to seeing. We wanted to see the penguin highway. Can you kind of explain what they look like and what the purpose that they serve is?
Yeah, so you can see the penguin highways. It's the ditches. You see that they are darker now. This is further on in the season. Earlier in the season, they start with building the nest, laying the eggs. They will go to places where the rocks are uncovered by snow, and this usually is higher up. You can do it! This makes that they have to walk. When they are walking, they kind of stamp. They're slowly just kind of carving out little paths because the snow is usually soft, deep, and so they sink away a little bit. And so it just takes less energy for them to walk on the highways.
Just minding my business. Every single day continuously gets better. Yesterday I said that was my favorite location. Today I've said that this is my favorite location. The penguin highway. Oh, does that?
So remember the glacier that collapsed on our first landing? That phenomenon is called calving.
That makes me so sad.
And when we first saw it, our instinct was to scream, climate change.
Oh my god.
But calving itself is actually a natural process.
It's not necessarily given that if a glacier is calving, that's a sign of decay. It needs to happen. That's the defining feature of a glacier, that it's moving by its own weight. And so when it comes to the sea, it will start calving.
What isn't normal is how often it's happening. And according to scientists, the increasing frequency is a clear sign that temperatures here are rising.
I'm sweating.
And look, we're not experts, but what we can say is that coming here, we didn't expect it to feel this warm.
It's very hot. I had to layer off. Which many layers here. We're doing what we can.
And if anyone needed a reminder that our planet is worth protecting, spending time in Antarctica makes the magic of it all pretty hard to ignore.
Can you talk about how you feel when you're going through the Lemaire Channel?
I think what makes it so special is that it is the narrowest passage that we're doing down in Antarctica, and you never really know how the conditions are there before you're actually almost entering.
And it's not just in what you see, it's also in what you hear. Or what you don't hear. The silence you experience has a way of making you feel like you've stepped into a whole other dimension.
So now we will have 3 minutes without phone, without noise, just to feel Antarctica.
It's funny because every part of Antarctica sounds just unpredictable. Like Becca told us before the trip, we don't know what we're going to be able to do. We kind of just have to see the weather and like how it's going.
It's true, it is always changing, and we have the plan A and plan B and plan C, and I don't think I've ever been able to do a plan A.
The truth is, we were incredibly lucky. For most of the trip, we got to follow plan A, until we didn't.
Oh, wow.
It's moody.
Yeah.
Egg sacrifice.
Are you cold? I'm okay. This is pretty cool. I need to get my hand warmers.
Remember guys, this might be our last trip out. The weather's turning tomorrow, so just embrace it, love it, look around, and thank Antarctica for everything it's given us.
This would indeed end up being our last outing. On our final day, the weather shifted quickly, and what started like this turned into this.
No, this weather looks so bad. We were supposed to have a landing today, but I don't think that we're going to be able to go out like that.
It's so cold. And despite the expedition team's best efforts, we would never make it off the ship again.
Due to the conditions outside, we have to cancel our afternoon activities for today. It was not possible to make it on shore, but there was also a lot of wildlife on the island that we cannot disturb. So all activities are cancelled.
But we wouldn't be disappointed, because on that very last outing, we really did get to take it all in. And somehow it felt like nature knew. Because the goodbye it gave us felt like nothing short of magic.
Whale sighting.
Yes!
So it definitely feels like the last day. I was at breakfast and I was on my phone and I was like, I need to put my phone down and just look outside and really see what's in front of me because I don't know when is the next time I'm going to see this.
A couple of days before, we had caught up with 2 HX guest scientists who are here to collect data on whale populations in Antarctica.
We are part of the Polar Whale Watch team, so our mission up here is to conduct on board whale observations.
And when we saw them on the deck, we were very excited to hear what they had found.
Since we've been here?
Yeah.
100?
Like orcas.
No, whales.
But that's still like
The fact that you've seen so many of them right now, and where you're seeing them, is that signs that like everything is going good?
Yeah, going since whaling back in the day, humpback whales are increasing about 5% every year. That's been recorded so far. It's going to change.
But look, they did talk about these stations yesterday in the briefing. See them?
Yeah.
It's weird to see any sign of civilization.
Yeah.
That is a wrap on Antarctica. One of the things I feared coming into this trip ended up being my favorite part was how unpredictable it was.
Wow, you can see the other side of the iceberg.
You never know what you were going to see. You always had to have an open mind. Because in Antarctica, the animals are in control, not us. There's something powerful about witnessing the animals and the wildlife just as they are. And being here through a net positive model, knowing that exploring and having guests here supports the scientific research makes it feel all the more special and impactful. We experienced it all. My head is still spinning over how much we got to see. The amount of seals, penguins, whales we got to witness is absolutely insane. When we got to talk to the captain, he told us that if you can describe Antarctica, you haven't been, and I couldn't agree more. As much as I've been trying to describe what I've witnessed over the last few days, I know that my words and our cameras truly just don't do the beauty of it justice. I still have so much that I want to see in the world, but what I do know is that nothing will quite compare to this experience. So maybe that just means that you have to experience it for yourself.
Stupid. Why would you look stupid?